What's up, YouTube world? It's your girl, Jennifer L. Watson here. And this is the first time I've uploaded a video in quite a while. And the reason is because one, as you can see, the backdrop has changed just a little because I've been rearranging my products as well as creating new products that are now for sale, well, on pre-order on Etsy. And those products should be finished within the next couple of weeks or so. So if you want lotions, soaps, more sprays, then you definitely want to go ahead and check out my Etsy shop. And that link will be down below. And two, I had a Black Friday sale that was out of this world, okay? I just was not prepared for the absolutely wonderful response I had to it. So I had to get prepared during that time. And then, of course, we have holiday shipment, and it was a good mess to have. So I just kind of decompressed a little bit and said, you know what, I need to jump back on YouTube. So I am answering some of the frequently asked questions that I get, especially from Etsy in my inbox. And today's video is focused all on creating petitions, right? So whenever you're doing a lot of candle work, I generally encourage people to create petitions to go along with that. Well, why? Why do I encourage that? I encourage that because one, it helps you to formulate complete thoughts. It helps you to focus, and it also helps you to create exactly what it is that you want. So this video is dedicated to telling you some do's and don'ts when you're creating petitions. All right. So number one is when you are creating a petition, make sure that you are in a space where you can focus your thoughts on drafting and writing out exactly what it is that you want. You do not want to be distracted. You do not want to be pulled away from your intention. So whenever you're starting any kind of magical working, you definitely want to be, even if not in a fully completed or completely meditative state, at least be in a quiet or even playing some music to create the ambiance, whatever it may be to get you into that mood for your petition. So for example, if it's a petition regarding money, maybe you want to go ahead and get yourself into the energy of listening to some music dealing with money, or perhaps, I'm sorry, my daughter is sitting right here and she's kicking my table. Maybe you want to listen to some money music. If it's into love, maybe listen to some love songs. Do whatever it is that you need to do in order to make sure that you are focused on that particular topic. Number two is make sure that your headspace is in the game. So it kind of goes along with number one, but number two, really want to make sure that your mood is there, right, where you want to be. So when you're doing any kind of work, and especially when you're getting ready to create a petition, not only do you want to be focused, but you want to make sure that you are emotionally either neutral or emotionally high or low. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that especially if you're doing any kind of darker energy works, you want to make sure that you have all of the full range of anger brewing up in your soul, because it's just going to enhance that work that much more. But I mean, I don't encourage it. I always encourage the higher level vibrating, because you're going to exude a lot more of that energy and that emotion and be able to create that manifestation a lot easier and faster when you are in a higher level state of being, meaning that your vibration is higher. So that means love, that means money, that means protection. You don't want to be, for example, you don't want to be angry while trying to do some love petitioning work. It's just not going to work, because we have to remember that whatever we are feeling, whatever we are vibrating at, is going to translate into whatever it is that we're trying to do. Okay. All right. Number three, when you are creating your petition, you want to make sure, now these are some options, what I'm about to tell you. It does not have to be exactly that. These are options, but you can use anywhere from regular notebook paper like I have here to just a regular pen. I like writing with fine point Sharpies for whatever reason. It could be a regular pen, it could be a pencil, it could be whatever. But make sure that you have your tools already set in place when you're getting ready to do these things, right? And two, All right, we had to do a quick pause there because I had to tell my daughter to back up a little bit because the table kept moving that my phone is on. But anyhow, so yeah, when you can also even take it up a step further, because I've seen that some places sell spell paper. And in traditional hoodoo work, people use brown paper, like, ripped up brown paper bags. Whenever you're pulling apart the paper, don't cut it. This is traditional hoodoo speaking. I'm telling you from that, where you're supposed to rip the paper and then create your petition on that. All right. But you can really use any kind of paper. These are just options. I'm just telling you what's out there and what traditionally has been done, et cetera, et cetera. But if you can also even boil it down to the color pen that you're writing. So if you're doing love work, you can use a red ink, or you can even use magical inks when you're creating petitions, because there are magical inks that are out there. I do not provide any of them, but I do know that they do exist, and that people are able to purchase these type things. So that's that. Now, when you are working on your petition, now here are some things that you should be focused on when you are creating it. And that means what you are saying. First, when you're creating it, you want to be sure that you are, sorry, there was a notification popping up. You want to be sure that you are addressing the petition to whoever it is that you are asking for help, right? So if it is to a particular ancestor, you want to create this petition addressing that person. If it is an Orisha, you want to address that petition to that Orisha. If it is to the general universe, you want to make sure that you're addressing it to the universe. Now, do you have to? Yeah, it's generally a good rule of thumb, because essentially what a petition is that it's a letter. It's really just a letter. And you're writing a letter to this or ancestor, Orisha, universe, whatever, stating your desires. That really is what a petition is. But when you're creating your petition, you want to be sure that, especially if you're creating it to the universe in general, you want to make sure that you're using positive plus language. So when you're using positive plus language, you are writing out as things have already happened. You're using it in a positive sense. So for example, I want to meet Joe, or say that you want Joe to fall in love with you, or you want to fall in love with Joe. I don't know. Instead of saying, I want Joe to leave his girlfriend, or let me come up with a better example. Or I don't want Joe to stay with his girlfriend, right? That is not positive. I do not want. Keywords in that phrase is do not. Anytime you use the word not, or don't, or no, any kind of negative phrases, it's really essentially going to cancel it out. The universe does not hear negative words. It hears, oh, you want Joe to stay with his girlfriend. Okay, so Joe's going to stay with his girlfriend. So you have to write it from the present positive plus. What is happening, as it's happening now, from your frame of mind, your vantage point, and you want to make sure that you're stating exactly what you want to happen. So instead of saying, I don't want Joe to leave his girlfriend, then you're going to say, I want to be in a loving romantic relationship with Joe, right? Which brings me to my next point, is that going along with our same example, it's not, I want Joe to fall in love with me, right? Okay, that's pretty general speaking. Okay, he can fall in love with you, but what about, will you ever know that he fell in love with you? Or maybe he's too scared to act on it, So you have to go a little bit more in detail. So Joe's going to fall in love with me, but is he going to fall in love with me and then we can go have a beautiful, happy relationship? Or are we going to, go on and ride into the sunset? You know what I'm saying? So you have to be detailed and specific on what your desires are. And if you're not, then you can actually have things happen that are they're going to happen according to what it is that you want, but it's not going to be fully fulfilled because you haven't fully stated your desires. Okay. So in this petition, avoid using any kind of negative words and do use as much detail as possible. Okay. So, and when you're done with your petition, I like to, you can either anoint them with oils, you can either add them to candle work, but at the end of what I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm doing, I like to burn them. I like to burn them. And I always tell you, any kind of working that you're doing, set it, do it, and forget about it. Because the more that you think into it, the more that you're like, oh, but did I do this right? You know what? No, do it, allow it to be, and then let it go. And that's one way that you can do that, is when you burn it and set it outside and let it blow and go wherever the wind may go, because you're essentially releasing your desires and your wants. So these are just some key things that you need to know. Now, I will tell you this, there is no specific length to a petition. Just make sure that is a full and complete, well-rounded thought of your desire, of your wants. And two, make sure that what you're saying is sincere. Make sure it's exactly what your heart desires. And make sure that what you're saying in it is at least somewhat believable, right? Even if it hasn't happened yet, make sure that it's something that is believable. Now, I love to write letters and burn them. I've been doing that before I actually was started practicing magic. And because it's just a sense of release when you're able to do that, even if it's something that you need to remove from your energy and let go of, right? So for example, if it's something that you need to cut away, cut ties from, you can do this particular petition method, right? So again, if it's something that you want to cut ties from, again, you still want to write in that positive present plus tense, right? So that way you are saying as if it has already happened, you are releasing it, and you are trusting that everything that you've written out has been completely fulfilled. Now, I know there are some other videos out there that I've seen on YouTube, like years ago, whatnot, that tell you that when you've done writing it, that you should be folding the paper towards you and folding it towards you when you want to bring things inward. And if you want to remove things, then you fold it away from you in quarters. That's fine. You can definitely do that. It's just another building block. It's just another tool, because everything, again, that we do in magic is a building block and a tool. But you have to remember that that number one tool is your mind and your mouth. Everything else is just something to carry out what it is that you desire to happen. Okay. So if you want to fold your petition in a certain way, whether you want to bring it to you or away from you, perfectly fine. If you want to also create certain petitions according to the moon phases, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Now, just quickly, if it's when the moon is going from new to full, that means it's growing. And when it's going from full to new, that means things are leaving, things are releasing. And that's waning versus waxing moon. Okay. So if you want to do it that way, you can. I am too lazy to remember where the moon is, so I have kind of moved away a little bit from that. But again, it's just an added tool that you can definitely use. So, all right, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, definitely drop those down in the comments below. And I hope you have fun creating some very nifty and productive petitions. May all of your heart's dreams come true. Okay, I will see you all later. Love each and every one of you all.